Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael Tharp, EDU. It starts with you. It's Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, and I have an awesome guest on today, Dennis Sennett from H-Town, Texas. What's going on, brother? How are you doing today?
Yeah, what's going on, Mike? I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Hey, man, I started buying tons of crypto this week. I buy all the time, but I was like, all right, I don't know if we're ever going to get these prices again, and I want to make sure I get locked in. So, man, I've been following you for like 3 years, and I've just been very impressed by your consistency, um, and the calls that you put out, the trades that you make, because there's so many people online who kind of flex or front that they're these trading experts, and like when I actually start to talk to them, like they really have no idea what they're talking about. But you are one of the realest ones out there. So just curious, how long have you been into trading? When did you get into cryptocurrency? Just a little bit about your background, how you got started in the industry.
Okay, cool. So I started my trading journey with penny stocks. You know, a lot of people does. This was in 2017, and of course, as I did my research, all those commercials on YouTube kept showing up about forex and Bitcoin and things like that. So I want to extend my knowledge and learn a little bit more about Bitcoin. And I even started mining Bitcoin, and I started trading forex. So probably around 2018 is when I was heavy in the forex game. You know, that's where a lot
Okay.
of the marketing was. You know, IML. I was a part of all those MLM groups, right? I was
Yep.
jumping from group to group, but my focus wasn't so much on selling those MLM groups, more so learning the skill and learning how to trade. And once you learn how to trade, that's something that you can transition into anything. So I was able to start trading crypto, and since I've done that, it's really taken my game to the next level. You know, with forex, I was losing. You know, I win good, but I lose good. With crypto, I hardly lose because as long as we hold on long enough, we're back in profit. So, you know, I've been enjoying my crypto journey. So I actually haven't worked since COVID. And ever since I've been trading crypto.
Oh, I love that. And this is what and I need to get my trading experience, my technical analysis up too. I'm more of a fundamental trader. But I really want to get more into the TA. I've been learning a little bit over the last year. And that's why I kind of reached out to you because you are one of the realists out there, and I kind of wanted to get in some of your groups. We'll talk about that later. But again, guys, so this learning trading as a skill is something that you can literally do anywhere. You can make money if the market goes down or up, which is setting you apart from most investors, right? Most people just have a 401k. Unless the market goes up, they don't make money. Most people in crypto just buy and hold. Okay. And so you have to wait for the bull market to come. But if you can learn that skill from somebody, who has the expertise and experience like Dennis, you're setting yourself up with a skill that can't be taken away from you that allows you to earn money in any environment from any place in the world. So I wanted to bring Dennis on today because I really want you guys to get serious about this life-changing opportunity. In the next year, thousands, if not millions of people's lives will change because of cryptocurrency. All right. We're preparing for the bull market, and Dennis and I and a lot of other people have been screaming from the rooftops, buy Bitcoin, get into cryptocurrency, get educated in decentralized finance. And of course, most people are like this meme of just like, nah, I don't get it. I don't have time. The biggest thing, guys, is just to take action. And Dennis, I'm sure you're well aware of this. And I'll kind of let you take over and, talk about why people need to really get serious about this up and coming bull run. But as you can see here, historically, the last three bull markets have started 800 days after the last bull market high. And that is where we are at right now. So, Dennis, anything you want to add of why people need to pay attention and get into cryptocurrency right now if they haven't already?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you asked me that. Man, you know, we said every bull run that this one is going to be bigger than the last. And so far, we've always noticed that, right? The next one is bigger than the previous. But something that I want people to think about on why this one is going to be that much bigger than our last one. That's when we had mass adoption. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but we did. A lot of companies now sell crypto. A lot of companies publicly admit to using the blockchain technology. So we had a viewing of what mass adoption looks like, or at least we thought we did. But what we're about to see right now, based off of these ETFs, is what mass adoption really looks like, right? We got what I like to call sleeping money that's about to be active in the crypto market. What do you mean by sleeping money, Dennis? I mean, people with 401ks don't look at their account and check them and sell off their Bitcoin if the account goes down, right? They just hold on through it, right? They're just going to invest every week. That kind of money is now being introduced to stock investors, to ETF holders. And before this year, before like right now, it was never legal to even promote cryptocurrency in an institution, in these private firms. So now they can actually promote Bitcoin and Ethereum, and this is going to create a floor for crypto where we're not going to see prices as low as some are predicting. That 30,000 Bitcoin or that 2,000 or what $1,000 not Ethereum. I don't think we're going to see these levels, not because of the amount of money that we have now. This is $2.2 trillion now that's not going to be added to the crypto market. We're about to really see what mass adoption looks like. So I think, like you said, with the way the history of work before, with the timing and everything is adding up to right now being the best time, if any other time, to start investing in crypto if you haven't already.
No, 100%.
Nailed it.
And guys, just another piece of evidence here that we're going to look at is the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Okay. And so this factors in the halving. That's when the number of Bitcoin produced gets cut in half. Okay. Some people think it means Bitcoin's price gets cut in half. No, typically after the halving, there's a certain amount of time that it will go down a little bit and then take off. So you can see here, this is our last halving. Okay. In 2024. And we are back into the blue, which is basically a fire sale. The green is accumulate. Okay. Yellow is hodl. And then once we get into the red or the orange is when you want to look at, executing your exit plan. So we can see this happening every halving of Bitcoin going up, and then it comes down, okay, back into the blue. So, we had we had Bitcoin. I remember this date specifically, December 5th, 2022. Bitcoin was at $16,000 and we're sitting at about 60 or so today. So, I mean, guys, that's a 4x, a 400% gain. Even in this, we're not even in the full bear market yet. But Dennis, anything you want to say when it comes to the Bitcoin rainbow chart and the Bitcoin bull run in this halving coming up?
No, I'm loving the similarities that it's looking like from my last bull run and with this one. And, like you, I travel, I check the fundamentals. And I also like to check astrology. So when I bring all that into the understanding, right now is, again, queuing up to be the perfect time. What we've seen in 2020, we had the announcement of COVID, and we've seen that the stock market dropped to all-time lows where they had to actually stop people from being able to sell off any kind of currencies, to stop them from selling off their shares. Even Bitcoin, it went from $10,000, well, no, it was like $6,000. It dropped to like $3,200, right? So we seen a nice, huge drop after an announcement, and following that, we never seen those lows again. That time is very similar to what we see now. After the announcement of the United States entering into the Ukraine war, we've seen a huge drop in the market. It went crazy. They had to stop the shorts in the stock market once again. Like, we had to stop us from selling off. It all looks very similar to what happened right before our takeoff in our last bull run. So I'm loving the way it's looking now, and I like the similarities.
And I had forgot that you post about that stuff, about, the astrology, the moon cycles and all that. When I first saw that, I'm like, this guy's crazy. Like, what is he talking about? And then sure enough, all your signals hit. You crushed it. I don't remember exactly how many, but I'm like, maybe there is something to this. So does that just kind of have to do with human psychology, people's emotions and stuff? Maybe go into that of how you use it and how it comes into play when you're doing your trades.
It does sound crazy, but it's like they say, we're 63, 65% water, right? We understand that when the full moon rises, the tide rises. You know, when you look at the news alerts, you'll notice a lot of crazy stuff happening around full moons. Cops are a little nervous around full moons. Ambulances, they all are afraid of new moons. Is when things go a little more berserk. That's when we're
Yep.
full of energy, and that energy is going to show up in our money as well. So yeah, there's a lot too. When full moon, I say full moon full of energy. Normally, I like to buy in the market following full moon, and then
Okay.
no moon. New moon is when there is no moon in the sky. So I say new moon, no moon. That means there's going to be no energy, and a lot of times that's when we see the greatest time for the market to drop. Like when I share my charts here in a little bit, I'll show you that following a retrograde, a new moon retrograde, is when we've seen those 30 to 50% drops in the market. And this is significant because we have a Mercury retrograde coming up in a couple of days.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. So I was a teacher for 17 years, and I would remember so many times, like, you'd have within the first few hours, these kids are just acting crazy. And I don't like follow the moon that much. And I would just be like, go to one of my teacher friends. I'm like, is it a full moon today? Sure enough, almost every time that happened, we'd look at it and be like, yep, it's a full moon right now. Kids are acting a fool. So then you start to kind of prepare for that, knowing, they're going to be a little more wild when that full moon's out. Um, I guess before we have you share your charts, let's just talk about some tokens that we like. I preach dollar cost averaging. So obviously, other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, what would you say are your top 3 coins you're most bullish about in this upcoming bull run?
I like BNB. Definitely is going to be, everything that Ethereum is going to continue to follow that. I say the top 3 is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. If this was like metals, Bitcoin would be gold, Ethereum would be silver, and BNB would be copper. And I feel like everybody should have that in their portfolio. So definitely, BNB would be one of the first ones I will announce. The next, I love the way Solana moves and what they're building, and I like the way that they get so much attention with what I call dumb money. The meme coin whole movement that's going on right now is fun, right? It's fun to watch. It's nothing that I participate in heavily, but it's definitely something to have fun with. And I think that the industry needed it, the market needed it. So I like Solana for what it's doing, even with the meme coins and not InstaDApp, but the lend and borrow platforms and the dApps that they have are affordable to use. I just don't like the way it gets congested at times.
Right.
But following one would be Avalanche. Doing just my research, understanding that Avalanche has partnerships with the Fed now, has partnerships with Amazon. It just lets me know that they're a powerhouse, and I'm loving that it's still so cheap right now. And that again, it's one of those strong lend and borrow platforms on Aave. So Avalanche, I can see it going into 4 figures in this bull run, and getting it right now for less than $30 is a steal.
Okay, so you're seeing Avalanche maybe go to 4 figures.
Yes, sir.
Wow. And I mean, I had actually didn't even realize Avalanche was this cheap right now. But now the huge news with Avalanche was that the California DMV is putting all of their driver's licenses and materials on an Avalanche. I think it's a side chain, not the main chain.
Exchange,
But still to have a state in America, move an entire division onto a blockchain is huge bullish news, in my opinion.
And we also got to think about they have to use AVAX as gas to transact on that network. So they're going to try to buy up Avalanche while it's still cheap. Don't let these low prices fool you and think that, oh, I'm going to get it cheaper. Time in the market is better than time in the market, and I'm stacking up on AVAX.
Yeah, I mean, really at this point, we have a 5x just to get back to its all-time high of over $125. So I mean, yeah, this is just a steal right now. So I'm gonna go. These are mine. I try to get out of the top 10 to get some more gains, but I'm starting to buy a lot of Toncoin. I think with Telegram and their user base, and I talked about this with Sean Logan the other day, is there's going to be some new thing that brings in the normies. It might be a video game, it might be an app. I don't know what it's going to be, but there's going to be one thing that triggers and the floodgates are going to open. And I think Telegram has a chance to do that because so many people already have the app on their phone. Your thoughts on Telegram?
Was that with Ton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way this Ton is doing, and I like the agreement it's having with AI. I think that this is going to help us create a lot of apps and dApps on Ton that people are going to be able to use with AI assistance. So yeah, I think Ton can definitely grow.
And my next one, I'm definitely buying some Avalanche when we get off. Um, I am very big on where is it? Very big on HBAR. That's one I've been accumulating for a long, long time. The partnerships they have, I think this is going to be a huge corporate, coin. We've already gone to 50 cents last bull run. We're at 5. I mean, what is that, like a 20x? Is that right? Or 10x? A 10x to all-time highs. And I do a lot in their DeFi, but their partnerships, let me pull it up here, are crazy. Boeing, Dell, Hitachi, Google, LG. This Mondelez makes like Nabisco and half the stuff that you see at a grocery store they make. So I think there's just going to be huge, huge institutional uses of HBAR. My last one is Arweave. And I want to do more research on them, but I'm super bullish because I think they're doing something a lot of other people aren't doing, and they are utilizing AI. And I actually have been meaning to get into their DeFi, but the storage, the AI, the speed, the quickness, I really like their developers and their CEO and leaders. So that would be my one I'm loading up on. But I think Dennis is spot on with Avalanche. I did not know Avalanche was that cheap, so I'd recommend grabbing some of that. Another one, I just put this out to my group this week. I think Pith is going to melt faces. We know what Chainlink has done. Pith has huge partners. Where we've already gone to 110, and we're sitting at 28 cents right now. So we got almost like a 4x just to get back to the all-time high. And I still think we have tons of growth if you look at what Chainlink has already done.
And what I add with that, if you actually put it on the Solana network, you can stake it and use it to use it as collateral. So I think that's important.
Okay.
A lot of these assets that we're able to use as collateral are going to grow just because investors like myself focus on those assets and we're holding them even with drawdown in the market. AVAX being one of the biggest ones I'm on, but Solana and Pith is one that like I said, it's crazy you mentioned it. I just started stacking up on Pith, and if you look on marginfi.com, you'll notice that you can actually stake your Pith there. And when I use lend and borrow platforms, I don't sell my currency. I just take profit from them, right? By borrowing against them.
Yeah, let's get into that. So Dennis has really amazing systems that you guys can utilize when he kind of talks about borrowing and discharging debt and all sorts of stuff like that. And now you're lending Pith on here and making interest on it. Is that correct?
Yeah, go ahead and click the launch app. Lend.
There we go.
All right. Oh yeah, they're gonna walk you through it real quick. So with select token, right there with lend. Let's find, well, you can actually just scroll down so we can see how much they're gonna give you APY. But you're gonna look for Pith.
Make this a little bit bigger.
There we go. Right there it is. So you're only receiving 0.06% interest APY. But like I said, the good news about hosting your money here is you can take profit without actually selling your currency. So this is a trick that I came up with, my first time buying a miner. This was back when Ethereum was priced at about $80 to $100. And I actually had to spend 18 Ethereum to purchase my miner, which was only $1,500. Now look at the price of Ethereum. I wish I still had my 18 ETH, right? It's easy to pay back that $1,500 loan. So
Right.
instead of me actually selling Ethereum or selling Solana or selling Bitcoin, and I'll no longer do that. I borrow against these assets. Right now, instead of actually selling Pith while it's still so cheap, if I wanted to take profit, I would load it up here. Let's say that we had $500 worth. I would load it here, and I can borrow $100 or $200 worth of USDT while Pith is still growing. Now, if Pith runs up another 20, 40%, it actually pays off my loan for me. And I still have $500 worth of Pith, and the $200 was free money. So it's great when we have assets that we can borrow against. And another great thing that happens because we can borrow against it, if the market is bearish, we can use this as an opportunity to short the market. For example, if I feel like Ethereum right now priced at $2,600 is going to drop down to $2,000, I can borrow one Ethereum from myself. And once the price drop, I have to pay back one Ethereum to myself. But the price of one ETH is now $2,000 instead of $2,600. I get to keep the $600 and change.
So you're when you believe the market is going to go down, you're borrowing the asset you believe will go down.
Yes.
Okay. So then when you go to pay it back, you're paying back less of a dollar value because the price of that asset went down.
Right.
Okay. No, genius. And I mean, think about this, guys. I mean, you can get Pith for 1.94%. I mean, that's almost like nothing. And again, so Pith, let's say you borrow $1,000 of it. So what is that? $19, $19.40 to borrow it for
That's in
$1,000.
a year.
Yeah, in a year. And if Pith just goes back to its all-time recent high that it just had in March, you're up 400%, and you paid $19 to borrow that for a year. I mean, you can't beat that. And so these are the strategies you guys need to be learning right now so that you can maximize this Bitcoin bull run. Like, yeah, you can go out and probably buy any token and it's probably going to at least double or triple in the next year, but that's not going to change your life, right? So Dennis, I'll let you let me stop sharing. If you want to pull up what you kind of wanted to share and maybe cover a little bit of what it is that you do and what people can learn from you. If you want to pull that up, we'll look at that. If you guys are watching this while he does that, drop us a comment, like this video, share it out. Okay, Facebook and YouTube don't want you getting rich. Okay, they want you staying inside the rat race, so they tend to suppress information like this. So drop a comment if you guys got any questions. We would love to answer some once we get through. But all right, we'll let the master cook here. What you got going on there, Dennis?
Oh man. One thing I want to start off with is, since we're having those similarity charts, is just to remember this is what I was referring to. Back in the 2020 COVID crash, we had the announcements that we were going to be locked down, had to stay in our house, all that good stuff, and the market dropped like crazy, right? Gave us some nice slippage, but eventually it came back, found support, and it ran on back up to retest its high, had some resistance at that point, and then it took off again, right? That's what we had with this recent crash. Currently, we are back here testing support again, right? This is a couple of days old, but we are back here at this, 658 something. We're coming back to test these highs, and we're going to consolidate, right? We're going to have a little time to kind of chill in this zone. But once we break that 68,000 zone, Bitcoin is ready to go. And you know how right now you're kind of familiar with overbought and oversold territories. You're going to see that and think, well, I'm not going to buy Bitcoin at 84,000. It's overbought. And it's just going to keep going. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin at 92,000. It's overbought. And it's just going to keep going. Like we see it, guys. This has happened. I witnessed this at least twice before, right? I've seen it happen in the 2016, and I've seen it happen for the 2020, and it's the same cycle. So this is why people like me and Mike are screaming, because we understand what can happen. There's enough for everybody to enjoy what is about to come, right? So now let's go ahead and look at these charts. When I trade, I like to use the 4 hour. So I don't have to panic and jump in and out. I notice a lot of traders now are zoomed in to 5 and 15 minutes, and they end up getting in and out and getting out of their trades a little early. But I have a system, right? When I trade my 4 hour, right now, this, for example, I wouldn't trade. We have a clock. What we have is a closed mouth gator. And I don't like to trade closed mouth gators. I got to wait for the gator to open his mouth and show me its direction. Let me just do a little history so I can show you what I mean and what I look for. So you'll see here, when price went under the gator, we call this gator underwater. It came back and it retested our EMAs. We knew if price did not go back above the EMAs, we were going to see more downside. And just as we see here. Also, as I told y'all before, full moon is when I'm bullish. New moon is when I'm bearish. So during the time when new moon came into the market, I was already thinking I need to find a resistance area to short. We continue to find resistance here at 61, and then the market dropped down just the way it did, down to the support level at 51,000, where I took profit from selling the market. Right? Again, let me go ahead and rewind.
And again, guys, let me just reiterate, I saw him do this. So he's not just like making this up after the fact. I saw him put it out before and then show the profit later.
Exactly. While we were here and we were bullish on the market, I was bullish just as everybody else in the summertime. We understood that the summer was going to chop, so I was taking profit a lot. But when I screamed, hey, y'all, watch out for new moon, because we normally see the market drop at new moon. We was here finding resistance. I was waiting on the market to find a decision. And when I noticed it went under the gator, it was here that I started telling my team, hey, let's start looking for shorts. We consolidated for a while, took us a little bit, but eventually we had a nice little drop, right? While we're under the EMAs, I don't like to buy full moons, but when I sell new moons more than I buy full moons. But when we are above the EMAs, I buy full moons. Let's go back to the beginning of the year to see what I mean by that and how you would have known to, kind of hold your trade and not exit too early. Again, when we was overbought, people was thinking, oh, we got to take profit. It's overbought, it's going to drop. But in my mind, as long as we're above the EMAs, I'm bullish. Full moon, I'm buying, right? Every full moon, I like to buy. And we rolled that thing all the way up. New moon, I like to take profit. And price just so happened to drop down. Full moon, I like to buy. And price so happened to run on up. This is our waxing and crescent. As a lot of times, it's great to take profit then. But even if you didn't, by new moon, you knew to take profit. Price went down, right? And this is just a cycle that we're familiar with. Whenever the market is under the EMAs, even being full moon won't help price going up. And this just so happened to be right here. A Mercury retrograde was in April. So that's when the market actually acts in reverse. Our full moon was then bearish, and our new moon was actually bullish. Hey, go over rewinding and just playing it back. You can kind of see how this all works out when it comes to astrology, when it comes to the EMAs, when it comes to just human nature. And that's basically what I teach and how to trade. I even give everyone all these indicators that I have here to kind of help me and aid me trading whenever you join my program. So for the most part, when I trade, I'm looking for these twists, right? Like the market going down under the gator. And that's why I'm so excited right now, because we've been bearish for a long time, right? Let's come into previous times. We've been under the gator, under the EMAs. I was bearish along with everybody else that said we're bearish. But what we have right here is a decisive area. We want to see if the market actually finds support here and we start trading above the 61, 62,000 Bitcoin, I believe we'll be bullish. Currently, with us still under our moving averages, I got to go with what I see. We're still bearish currently. But I am looking and cheering on a $6,200 break in Bitcoin. And when that happened, I'll be screaming to the top of my lungs, y'all better hold on for the long ride.
So right now we're kind of in a big an unknown, right? A big decision here of, are we going to continue to stay bearish, or can we break that 62 and become bullish? Would that summarize what you're thinking?
Exactly. And we even see it, with total market cap looking identical to Bitcoin. We need to get above, we need to hold above 2 trillion. Under 2 trillion, I'm as bearish as everybody else, but holding 2 trillion, I got hope. Trading above 2.1 trillion, I'm back bullish. But we need to at least hold $2 trillion for us to remain bullish and think that, hold my assets long term. Under there, I will take partial profits for some assets just so I'll be able to buy more at lower prices. But I'm still overall bullish. I just think that we still have to get through this retrograde, and retrograde historically has been bearish on the market. This current retrograde is going to be different though. And it's only because it falls under two other retrogrades. We're actually under the influence of Venus retrograde currently and Neptune retrograde. And that doesn't end until December. So Mercury will be a third retrograde. Now, I hope I'm not sounding too crazy to your audience, but I just want to give y'all some clarification on kind of how it works. When you have a retrograde, things happen in reverse. Think of it as playing Uno, and I drop that reverse card on you. But when you have a retrograde within a retrograde, it's like I was just playing two reverse cards. So things actually go the right direction. Gotcha. But if I throw in that third reverse, we're going to go in the opposite direction. And that's where we are right now. We're going to approach our next retrograde, and it's going to happen on a new moon. Right? Well, we're under the influence of a new moon right now. Our retrograde is going to be happening close to our full moon. And the expectations normally from full moon is bullish behavior. But if this is going to act in reverse, as we've seen before, we can actually expect one more drop in the market. I think that'll be the last drop we see before we really could have our bull run take off.
And do you know the date for the next full moon? Roughly?
I would have to look it up real quick.
Let's see. Full moon calendar.
You want to look full moon August? It said August 1st. That couldn't have been
August 19th is the Sturgeon moon.
Okay, yeah, that would be it. August 19th.
Yep.
And I believe retrograde is on the 18th.
Typically, what does that? Okay. So will that, if you're kind of thinking it correct, would that kind of downturn last for a full month, or does it only last for the would that last to the next full moon?
2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, it could last for 2 to 3 weeks because we also have a shadow period. But I'm thinking by mid-September, no matter what happens right now, mid-September is going to be a best time to trade with confidence for more upside.
Okay. So yeah, guys.
We're getting it now.
Yeah. So I mean, really, it's August 14th today. So I mean, I say you got about a month to prepare before things really start to take off. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's why we're doing, this, live tonight, getting you guys this information. Was there anything else you wanted to share, Dennis? Or I was going to share kind of the three options you have that for people to get started.
Oh, yeah. Feel free to do that.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys, and then Dennis, you can kind of explain what this entails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to for sure at least subscribe to the TCC alerts for $99 every 30 days. And I'll, you guys can, I'll let you know whether I'm winning or losing, but I plan on winning. So Dennis, do you kind of want to explain what people would get for this monthly subscription from you?
Yes. So that one I give alerts. And basically in the way that I trade, I'm normally looking for just 1% in the market at a time. Now, your leverage is going to depend on you and your risk management. I don't want to try to suggest leverage, and you might just need to use 5x leverage, and that's okay. I personally use 20x leverage, and I'm able to find good entries to where the market doesn't go back on me by 1%. So my stop losses, you asked me before, do you share your stop losses? I don't, but I normally have a 0.5 or a 1% stop loss on any trade that I call. Now, I plan on being able to catch an entry that good that I can get 1 to 2% of the market going in my direction when I take a trade. So don't take my trades and look to hold them for weeks at a time, right? Take my trades, get your 1, 2, maybe 3% in a day, close the trade, and wait again for the next day is what I would suggest.
And then, like we talked about before, you will, when you take profit, you'll put it in the group that, hey, I took profit on this trade.
Right.
Okay. And so what you guys, what I'm doing is I'm just training or educating people on how to use BloFin. I was just accepted into their affiliate program. So what is so great about this, right, is we can use leverage. Like Dennis said, I would definitely stay under 20 if you're new. I would just start with 3 or 5 just to get the feel of how it works. But once you get above 20, kind of getting into like gambling territory, even though I know Dennis, sometimes I see you do 50 when you're really confident about the trade.
Right.
But the other cool thing here, guys, is this allows you to short the market. So I'm sorry, I'm not showing you guys what I'm doing here. One second. Let's do full window. Okay. So this is BloFin. So right here, you can click on this and use leverage. Okay. So for example, that means if I put in $100, I'm trading with the $100 and I do a 10x leverage, that I'm trading as if I have $1,000, but I'm only putting up 100 of it. Okay. So there are dangers to that. Obviously, you can get liquidated and lose your full 100, but that's essentially your risk is just that 100. You're not going to lose 1,000. And then this allows you to short. So if the market's going to go down, so if we would have known this was going to happen, we could have gotten in at, 61, 200 or so, and now it's at 58,964. So that would have been a nice profit if we would have known to short there, because we could have used leverage and made lots of money. So let's see, the next thing, and this is really cool, Dennis, is I know I think you said you basically don't use banks. Like you are completely DeFi outside the system. So maybe explain to people, what you do and how you show people how to do the same.
Oh, absolutely. So, like you just said, I actually don't have a bank account. I haven't had a bank account since COVID. And I've been teaching how to be able to bank or how to get around the market without needing the bank. So a lot of people always question, well, how are you able to pay your bills, or how are you able to even shop around or travel, for that example? And I have ways that I'm able to purchase this with cryptocurrency. Now, the good thing about using crypto as crypto is it help you when it comes to your taxes, right? Anytime you sell crypto in the fiat, no matter if you're using Coinbase or Cash App or crypto.com, it doesn't matter which exchange you use. If you sell crypto in the fiat, that is reported as earned income. However, if you use crypto and you exchange it for stored credit, then it's not earned income, right? And I teach how to actually borrow and leverage your assets so that you're using debt. And we all know that you can't tax debt. So it's a great way for those of us that we make a lot of money in crypto, but we don't want it to appear that way, right? I'm a father of 5 and I'm a sole provider of 7. I'm the only one that work in this house. So I want to make sure that my income stays at a certain level. I don't want it to look like I make 200,000 a year. If it could just look like I make 60,000 a year, I would actually still receive income tax. So it's great to start learning how to use crypto the way that crypto is meant to be used, how to borrow against your assets. This way you're not selling Ethereum at $2,500. You're borrowing against it so that you can pay your bill. But if Ethereum goes from 2,500 to 5,000, your investment is doubled. You can easily pay off the debt that you created. Or even if you don't want to pay off the debt you created, you can use the bearish market to get rid of your debt by swapping your debt into a bearish asset, as we talked about before. So it's just a way for us now to take power back and do what the banks do with our money, but to do it for ourselves and actually reap the benefit of earning 2 and 3% daily. I show people the chart all the time of where you can go if you just had $1,000 account and you was able to earn 1% daily. After 2 years, it'll be a 6-figure account.
Oh, wow.
And we all know in crypto,
I mean,
hey, it's
guys,
to get
this
1% a
is
day
this
in
is
crypto.
why I brought Dennis on, right? I think he forgot to mention this, but he doesn't have like a day job. Okay. He makes his money from trading, borrowing, and leveraging cryptocurrency. He has a family of 7 he's providing for, and he doesn't even have a bank account. So if you guys want to learn a skill, that you can make money on anytime, anywhere, any place. You want to get outside the system and not have to deal with banks, okay, and take our power back. And you want to find a mentor who's able to do that. And you know, like I said, Dennis is one of the realest ones out there. Sorry I interrupted you with the Don DeMarco, but that was fire, bro. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no problem. I appreciate it. I like the excitement.
All right, so the last thing, let's talk about this. And I think this is kind of the all-inclusive, the DCG. So maybe explain what that is and what people would get with that.
All right, so DCG is a mastermind. Inside of DCG, I'm only one of 6 trainers. And we basically all come together to share what we do to be who we are, to be profitable. We call it a lifestyle mastermind because that's what we're doing. We're sharing our whole lifestyle to help other members, you know, imitate or copy what we're doing for success. We have trading options, we trade futures, we trade crypto, we trade forex. If it has a chart, basically we trade it, and we have an instructor that can teach you how to trade. All of our instructors are at least 6-figure a year earners, and this is what we do for a living. So nobody's just, you know, telling you from theory. We're teaching from what we actually do and practicing what we teach on the call. You know, I tell people all the time that I didn't go to school to teach, but I know some tricks that I'm gonna share with you. And that's what I kind of do, right? We don't call ourselves teachers or educators because we're trainers. So as a trainer, I'm going to share with you what I do and how I manipulate the market. And on a weekly basis, we have classes every week. So that's why the membership is on a monthly basis. At any time you feel like this isn't for you, you can end your subscription. But for the most part, our members don't leave, right? If you make it through 3 months, that means you actually put in some work and you've done some things, you put in effort, you're going to see benefit and you're not going to want to go anywhere. Because we share everything from NFTs to buy, from the perfect stocks to buy. We have our options trader that does swing trades, leap trades, and he's 80% accurate. Most of his members pay for a DCG by the year, right? And even my members are known to create their own bank accounts and improve their credit through some of the strategies that I teach. So yeah, once you stick around and actually use the information that you're being taught, not too many people leave DCG.
Oh, I love that. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a program that works, you know, that isn't just some fluff, you know, some guy in what do they call those, practice accounts, demo accounts, right? You know, that Dennis ain't doing that. I've seen him win too many times, and you know, actually talk to him, and he's very educated and knowledgeable in this space. Dude, thanks for coming on today. Any last words or anything else you wanted to get out to the people?
Man, I just hope y'all really understand the movement that is coming and the great time we're about to have in crypto. Don't be that person that wait for a year to go by and say, oh, y'all so lucky, y'all. We don't want to hear that. We're not lucky, right? We told y'all what to expect. We are already getting prepared. We're telling y'all what we're doing, and we hope y'all do the same thing, because this time next year, if you're buying crypto right now, you're going to be happy with your purchase, right? I don't care if the market goes down a little bit more next week and the following week after that. This time next year, you're going to be happy with whatever you bought today.
Amen. Love it. All right, Dennis. Again, if you guys want to get any of those alerts, the courses, get out of the banking system, all the links are down below. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, they're all down there. You can use my link to get into BloFin for absolutely free. I think that's where you do. Is that where you do most of your trading now too?
That's what we got kicked off for. I would love MakeC, but they just removed it, so now we all on BloFin.
Yeah. So, and great thing about that, guys, is no KYC. You don't have to use a VPN, even though I recommend you should always use a VPN. You don't have to. So very easy for new people to get in. All right, guys, take massive action. Again, guys, even if you got $20 a week you can spend, do it. Okay. There's no amount of money too small to start with in cryptocurrency. You just got to take action and get educated. All right, Dennis, thank you again, brother. You have an awesome